Welcome to the 2014 Student Teacher Final Presentations, where we ensure that our teacher candidates are Penn State ready to make an impact, not an impression, on their students. Our next presentation is Ms. Megan Slates, who will be presenting about her internship preparation for West Perry High School with Mr. John Hines. Megan?
Hello everyone. I would just like to first off thank you for being here today. It means a lot to me that you're here to listen to my experiences and my journey throughout not only this past semester but through my 4 years of college. So thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy listening to a little bit about my experiences. So today, going through our presentation, I'm first going to talk about who I aspire to be as a teacher and what being a teacher means to me. I'm then going to talk about opportunities that I have engaged in throughout my 4 years of college, and specifically this semester, that will better me as an educator. Last, we're going to talk about my student teaching plan and where I'm going and what I'm doing and what my school is like. So, to get started, this is me as a teacher. Why do I want to be a teacher? I have a goal to be an agricultural educator. Within that, I want to be a life coach. I want to be an FFA advisor. I want to be a positive person. Within that, I'll be teaching English, science, math, reading, all of those at the same time. Down at the bottom, you'll see the first portion of my philosophy statement. Through this presentation and through this part specifically, my philosophy will be outlined down at the bottom for you to read, or it's also in your handout if you'd like to read it there. So just starting off, agricultural education and why I would like to be a teacher, and I hope to spark the interest in the minds of students. Looking at that, within agricultural education, I believe in the three-circle model. I believe that every ag program is successful when it has classroom instruction, FFA, and supervised agricultural experiences. You can see that from also within my philosophy statement. I believe that this designs leadership development, personal growth, and career success within our students. And you can see my model up here on the screen with pictures and how I see this being laid out with, of course, student success in the center. So looking at the first one, classroom instruction. This is a sample scope and sequence actually from the high school that I will be going to. This is also within your handout if you'd like to take a look at it there. And I feel this is laid out pretty well. I like the fact that it has the grade and where they see their students progressing through their program. This is also for a general ag program. So we see that the students, when they enter, they'll have to take the ag science and technology or the intro course, and then from there can proceed to take different courses depending on their interests or what they might want to pursue as a further career after high school. Also, I think integrated within the classroom instruction is the lab. And so I think lab instruction is really important to get that hands-on feeling that we want from our ag students. And so within that, I think within lab, it's very important, safety first. So all of my students will be taking a safety exam on all the equipment before they can go and use it. With this, I have designed out in my lab management plan different exams that they can be taking depending on the equipment they'll be using, and they have to pass it with 100%. If they don't pass it with 100%, they'll be given the exam back and they'll have to take it again until they pass it. Along with that, I have designed a plan for my students to be taking inventory of the shop equipment before they start the year. And with this, I feel that that will encourage responsibility with the equipment, and that way they'll be less likely to damage or steal the equipment if they feel some type of responsibility towards it. So with that, I'll be having them do the inventory, and then of course I'll be checking it, and along with that they can also price out the equipment and get a feel for like what the equipment really costs and if they would be using it. Another thing I plan to implement is shop security and cleanup procedures. Depending on the class, these could be a lot of different things. They could be, I could have a student who is in charge of, sign out and sign back in procedures for the tools. Or they could be a student who's in charge of making sure that everyone else is cleaning up for the day. So like I said, that's all outlined in my lab management plan, if you would like to take a look at that later on. And so just some different procedures that I'll be implementing within the shop to keep everything safe and moving along. And last within that, I have my $15 project, which is also provided in your handout in case you need another project that you'd like to come back to later on. So the plans, as well as the pricing, is also in there. And I did the feed scoop, which you can see here. This was a really great project, I think, to create. This will be something the students have done after they do like a cutting board and a birdhouse. So this might be something that they do after that. It costs about $5. And we'll go through, my lessons and everything are outlined in there, as well as the safety exams that they'll need to take before they can start making this project. So along with this, down at the bottom you can see my philosophy then on Bloom's taxonomy and getting the students engaged and in the classroom. And I believe that all three domains of learning are hit within the ag program with the classroom instruction. Okay, now I would like to show a short video of me teaching in lab.
Clear objectives give students the information needed to meet your expectations for the day. Also, the use of a PowerPoint or whiteboard allows visual learners to excel in your class. As a teacher, we can provide visual aids in a multitude of ways to get the main objective across to all of our students. So I would like everyone to get a blank sheet of paper and a pencil and come up front quietly. Write down on your paper things that you want to notice. So we decided that this is a clear screen. We can stress important points to students, both in our instruction and in clear directions. Can I have a volunteer who would like to come up to the front of the classroom? And I'd ask that you be wearing safety glasses. And who'd like to try, this is our mock engine, and who wants to try to start the engine? Alright, so like come around to this side of the table, please. And I'm gonna hold the engine for you. And try to start it again. Oh no, what happened? You pulled it out. What did you do? You broke it.
Sorry about that.
Well, you broke it, but luckily, Billy, don't worry because this is an easy fix. We can connect lessons to practical applications, which will help students solve simple but real-life problems. The key is to continually strive to make yourself clear and understandable.
So that was just a sample of some of the labs that I've gone through this semester and how we can use clarity within the classroom to help our students learn clear and be able to meet our expectations as a teacher. Another part of the three-circle model is supervised agricultural experiences. I feel that I will encourage all students to have an SAE project, as I feel this is a very important part of the overall learning and growth of the student. This encourages responsibility, time management within the student while they are going through their projects. This gives the student an opportunity to show what they know or show what they've learned within the classroom. So say they had an animal science class and they're taking an animal project to the fair. Those directly correlate and the student will have the knowledge to care for that animal to be able to show it and sell it eventually. So along with showing what they know, I do feel that SAE should be integrated within the classroom to an extent. While this is a project that the students are going to have to hold on their own and care for or complete if they're doing a job SAE, they're going to have to complete it on their own time and outside the classroom. I'm always there as an advisor and helping them with their SAE project. But partially it will be integrated into the classroom with they can connect the lessons and things that they've learned with their SAE project. And then the last part of the three-circle model that I'd like to touch on today is the FFA. All students within my agricultural classes will be members of the FFA. This provides opportunities for growth, leadership, and professional development with the students. They can attend everything from leadership events to competitions, and through that they can gain experience in job interviews, resume writing, all different types of things that will help them once they leave high school and their journey after high school. Along with SAEs, this will also be an integrated part of the class. An example I'd like to give to connect how it will be integrated in the classes with the career development events. So let's say I'm teaching a small gas engines class and we go through engine rebuild. This will help students complete the small gas engine CDE then and be able to obtain a higher level in that than would they have not been able to take that class. Along with that though, career developments can also be completed on their own without the classroom instruction. The classroom instruction is just to give students the push and the interest, and then from there they will be given the resources to be able to advance that knowledge so that they are able to do very well with their CDEs. Along with that, I'd like to just skip out of the PowerPoint real quick and show another short video about integrating these three ideas into an Ag Ed program.
Agriculture education, the reason it's important. If you like to eat, you need to know where your food comes from. Everybody is involved in agriculture. If you eat 3 times a day, you're involved in agriculture. The clothes that you wear on your back, you're involved in agriculture. Without agriculture education, those things do not exist. So we will not have a future that continues to know where the food comes from, where the fiber comes from, when it comes to clothing, and things of that nature.
Agriculture education is the teaching of agriculture and natural resources at a secondary level through hands-on experiential learning and the three-circle model. This three-circle model covers classroom instruction, FFA, and SAE. The system gives students the opportunity to have experiences that stand apart from the average classroom.
Growing up, not having any agricultural background, agriculture education is where I finally found my niche in high school. For some students, it was their place in the band or on the sports field, and for me, it was definitely in the classroom and in the FFA. And I'll never forget the feeling I had the first time I zipped up that blue and gold jacket, or the pride I felt when I represented my school, myself, and my community at our FFA events, and on stage at our banquets and in our contests and competitions, and it really gave me a place in high school to feel like I fitted at home.
Along with FFA, the last part of the complete program is supervised agriculture experiences. These give students a chance to have their own projects in an agriculture area of their interest.
In our agriculture program, we look for diversified students who have a growth mindset. We hope to interest all students because each ag program is different and unique. Our program develops global competency of agriculture everywhere. With our resources, it can even take you around the world.
So with that video, that shows a little bit more about how I see an agricultural education program being laid out and what I see as the students who are being involved with that. Another part that I see within or outside of an agricultural education program is the community involvement that I'd like to have with our program. So I have 2 columns here, and I've kind of laid this out in a little bit of different way. The first one is, how can the community get involved within my program? The community can get involved by coming to open houses or different events that the FFA members might be putting on and supporting them. They can come support the FFA chapter maybe at the banquet, as some type of sale, just different events that the FFA chapter might be doing. They also have the option to maybe purchase animals at the local fair or at least go see projects being completed. And then next is, how can I get the community involved? So as an ag teacher, I want to be constantly trying to network within the community to get them involved within my program. So maybe I'm asking local members of the community or the local businesses to be members of my advisory board. I could also ask for guest speakers. There's no better way to teach students than to get the best that there is in something. And so maybe I'm asking that ag business professional to come in and speak to my ag business class if that's something that I'm really lacking in. I could also ask community members to be judges. I know asking teachers is a great way to get them involved within the program, and so I feel teachers are also a great resource as judges, but sometimes it's great to pull in people that the kids might not have seen before. So asking members of the community to be judges I think is a really great idea. I can find ways to build community service within our FFA chapter, so maybe we're going and helping on a local farm. Also through SAE projects, again, I can ask the community members for help. Maybe that's with a job placement project or something like that. And then last up I have my community-based project, which I will be doing with my school in the spring. This also occurs with the Project Grow picture down here. We're going to be growing tomato plants in the greenhouse and then doing an informational session with the community and handing out the tomato plants and a packet of information of some sort to educate the community on the best way to raise the tomato plants that they can plant in their garden. Okay, moving on. This is the next part is how my experiential education opportunities have impacted me as an educator. So the things that I've done the past 4 years or even just this semester have really influenced my educational theories and how I see myself going in the future. So first up, these are some courses that I've taken that have really influenced me. I am environmental science option. While I don't limit myself to just the environmental science, I do feel that it has been a large part of my education. And so you can see I've taken a lot of RPTM classes that I really feel like have helped benefit me as an educator, especially the team building facilitation. I learned all kinds of activities and different things that I can do within my leadership class and my officer team. I was also an outdoor school counselor, which I feel really benefited me working with young students and getting students up and moving around outside and enjoying the environment. Along with that, I've also taken environmental education methods and materials. This has helped me learn different theories that occur within education. Also, we took a trip. That's where most of the pictures are from without outdoor school. But we take a trip up to New England and visit different educational facilities. And I feel like this has really helped broaden my horizon of environmental education and visiting those facilities, and has not just limited me to the things that I've learned here at Penn State. Last but not least, I've taken a natural history course, which we would take hikes through the woods, and so that really benefited me just learning about forestry and the environment around me. I also have several certifications, if you would call them, from different workshops that I've taken, which I feel helped benefit me in both gaining curriculum and also learning activities while I was there. Some other experiences that I have, again, occur in more workshops. So I was at the PWE Summer Conference this past summer where I got to meet a lot and network with the other agricultural educators that are teaching in Pennsylvania. I've also taken the Shavers Creek courses, like mentioned in the slide previously, and I feel that being a National Teach Ag Ambassador has also benefited me with this. I had to design a lesson and teach it in Kentucky to middle school students, and so that was a big planning process, working with other ambassadors from around the United States to design this lesson. Also, while I was in Kentucky at National Convention, we helped set up for a lot of the workshops, and so while I might not have gone to attend them, I was still seeing the curriculum and networking with different people who were there. Another portion of my experience that I feel has benefited me is the domestic study abroad trip we took this past summer to Arizona. We visited 8 different programs, and we got to meet students, amazing students from Arizona who come from all different walks of life. And I feel that really benefited me both with just seeing agricultural education outside of Pennsylvania and also dealing with students who might be different from the regular students you see in the public school system. These are a couple pictures from when we stayed on the reservation, and we were in a reservation high school, which can be a little different, but those students were really great students, and from that experience I learned that those students are just like our students here, and you just treat every student the same, and they're all students, and they're all there to learn, and they're all really great. So I feel that trip benefited me definitely a lot within my educational experience. Okay, last up. I'm definitely prepared to go teach student teaching next semester. I'm really excited about it, and these are some ways I'm definitely ready to maximize my opportunities. So I'll be at Westbury High School, which is South Central Pennsylvania. I have the county outlined here. It's a very rural county, a very low-income school district. However, I don't feel that has affected our ag program whatsoever there. I will be student teaching under Mr. John Hines, and Miss Ayla Miller also teaches there now. And they have about 200 students enrolled in their program. And they have a general ag science program, so they're teaching everything from animal science to ag mechanics to FFA leadership. And they really do a great job of getting all their students involved and not limiting opportunities, even though it is a very rural, low-income school district. So these are some pictures of the facility. You can see they have a classroom, they have welding stations, they also have a wood shop area. When I was there, it was summer, so like the desks are missing from the classroom. But they have a very nice facility. They do have 2 classrooms in their high school, and then Mrs. Miller teaches a lot of middle school classes over at the middle school. So she's kind of moving back and forth. And then this is a picture of the outside front of the school. This is a picture of the units that I will be teaching. This is also laid in your course, in your handout, excuse me. And along with that, also in there is a calendar of when I start and stop each class. I didn't want to put that in the PowerPoint because it's a lot of information, but that is in your handout for you to look at. So you can see I start out with, the first week I'm there, I start with wildlife, fishery and forestry, my first ag science and technology class, and then my plant and soil science class. From there I pick up different classes. I don't really drop anything until the end. So next I pick up my small gas engines and then my diversified ag mechanics, along with my second ag science and technology class. Those are offset, so that way I'm teaching the same units of instruction but at different times. So I have the ability to modify something. If I feel like it didn't really go well, I can kind of modify my lesson for the next time. And then at the very end, I pick up the leadership class just for 3 weeks to work with the officers for a little bit before they go on and graduate, because the majority of them are seniors. Within this, I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm hitting a lot of my strengths and my weaknesses. I would say the small gas engines is definitely going to be challenging, but I'm definitely really excited about it. My knowledge of small gas engines has increased a lot this past semester and the semester before that. I hope to be able to work within the greenhouse a lot. They just got the greenhouse last year, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Along with that, I have hopefully a floriculture unit, which I'm still working with Mr. Hines on the budget on. But that would be something that I would really enjoy doing. Okay, and then to reflect on this past semester, I've really enjoyed my teaching experience so far, and getting involved with my cohort this past semester has definitely been a really great thing for me. I feel that what I give back to my cohort is just encouragement at all times when I can. I feel like as a leader within the Ag Ed department, I feel that I've given a lot of opportunities for professional development for members of my cohort, different events that they can attend, and I've hoped to provide them with a lot of those professional development opportunities. And last, I think that I give humor to my cohort in the time of need, and I just always try to be very positive and remind them that, you know, it's going to be okay and we're going to make it through and we're all going to be awesome rock star teachers. So I would like to, again, thank you all for coming today, and at this time I would like to entertain questions.
Sure. Round of applause for Megan. We will go back and forth on questions from the audience and from the teacher panel. And I'll ask the first question. And Megan, maybe I missed it. I was trying to focus in there. But your personal reflection on your strengths as a developing practitioner, as an instructor. I want you to revisit two of your, this is what makes me a better teacher right now, and this is one area that I'm going to work to improve as a developing educator, and I want you to specifically tell me how you're going to work to improve.
Sure. I would say that I'm a very positive person, and so I think that within my teaching style, I will always be very enthusiastic and positive with my students. And I feel like that's something that even goes back to like classroom management within that aspect, because I can always be positive with them and creating a positive environment. I think another great strength that I have is organization and time management, and I feel that I really like give things my all and take my time with them to make them the best that they can be. And I think that that will be a very positive outcome within my classroom, because I will be giving it my all, and so I'll feel like I'll expect the same within return from my students, and so they'll give me that feedback. I think something that I can improve on, and I think everyone can always improve on, is just the constant knowing that we're lifelong learners and that we're not going to be professionals in every topic that we teach. And so I get discouraged sometimes when I don't know certain things, or I have to spend hours researching and looking things up. So I would just say getting to that cognitive level of some of the classes that I'm going to be teaching is something that I struggle with.
And so how are you going to address that throughout your internship?
Yeah, great, sorry. So something I'm doing to address that is I'm using my cohort members, and I'm just, feeding off them. And so, for instance, a great example is small gas engines. I touched on it earlier. That's probably one of my weakest topics. Before I came to college, never had a class on it before college. And I've learned a lot, but do I feel like I'm ready to teach it? Yeah, I'll work through it. Mindy's really good at small gas engines. And so I used her as a tool, and she had this great troubleshooting lesson or unit plan. And so I asked her, if I could use that as a tool to increase my lessons. And so I have her troubleshooting unit plan, and that's going to really help me increase myself, because if I wouldn't have gotten that, I would have been just kind of making my own, and so it might not have been as good.
Thank you. Questions from the audience?
Hi, Megan. Maybe you touched on this and I missed it, but what is your plan for classroom management?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I didn't touch on that, so I'm really glad that you asked. So with classroom management, I always just want to be keeping a positive attitude within the classroom, and so there's some tools that I'm going to use to implement those things when I go to my high school next spring. So you can see my fancy green posters that are designed from my cooperating center's school colors. So before class starts, I just want to make sure that students are following proper procedures when they're coming to class, and that they're getting ready for class before the class starts, and that they're maximizing their learning time during class with their paying attention and being engaged. And then at the end of class, students are waiting to be dismissed until we're finished, until we're cleaned up and ready to go for the day. I also have expectations for my students, because I feel that by giving them expectations, they'll be able to be engaged within the classroom and know what I am asking of them. So just being prepared, being enthusiastic, maximizing their time, always being safe within the lab and within the classroom, and being respectful of others. And then last but not least, we have to have consequences for when students make mistakes or don't follow the rules. So I've outlined my cooperating center's classroom consequences by giving verbal warnings, talking with parents, after-school detentions, and sending them to the office. And of course, those are all outlined by the handbook.
One follow-up question to that, not related to your classroom management, but I see that you have 6 great binders in the front of the room. Could you tell me how you plan to organize those?
Yeah, so these follow my units of instruction that I went over, and they just outline all my classes by my units and my lesson plans.
Thank you.
Dr. Ewing?
Yes, thank you. Megan, I'd like you to think about your cooperating center and the National Quality Program Standards and/or Chapter 339 requirements, and just share a couple items, maybe 2, that you feel that your center does really well related to those 2 evaluation tools, or 1 or 2 of those evaluation tools.
Okay, so my school, West Perry, follows the, first off, I'd like to start by saying that my school follows the requirements that every FFA student, every ag student must be a member of the FFA, which is not related, but is somewhat related in the fact that all of the ag students are getting those, all of the students in the agricultural education program do have those opportunities to develop outside the classroom within the FFA. Along with that, my school does does have the layout of the sequence set up so that the students have to take certain classes at certain times. And that will help them progress through the sequence, say when they've taken like the physics class they need to take or the other science classes that they need to take. So I would say hours within all of that.
Thank you.
Audience?
Yes.
Caleb?
Excuse me, Megan, in your philosophy, you state that you believe in Bloom's taxonomy and that a well-rounded curriculum and program will reach all students through 3 domains. Can you please further explain how you plan to do that on a daily basis within your lessons for your students?
Sure. So I believe that all my lessons should have the 3 domains of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So with that, I will always be getting the students up and moving around. So using their psychomotor skills, coming to the board, writing things down, doing a lab. I'll be hitting their cognitive by providing lessons and the sort of inquiry-based instruction so that the students are being able to do that hands-on and also getting the instructional information that they need. And last, the affective, I just feel always being positive within the classroom and providing a positive environment will help my students engage within the class.
We're throwing around a lot of words here of domains and what have you. I want you to explain the relationship between the 3 domains and the 3 modalities of learning.
Okay. So you have your cognitive domain, which is
Okay,
this
so what are the 3 domains?
cognitive, affective, and psychomotor.
What are the 3 modalities?
Instruction,
No, ma'am. So modalities, I've asked you to identify the 3 modalities of learning.
yes.
You told me the 3 domains, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Did you go to the auditorium?
I did not make it down to the auditorium.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So there are 3 modalities of learning.
yes. The modalities are seeing or
Visual.
sight, visual, hearing or auditory,
Oh, awesome.
and psychomotor would be like
Psychomotor is the domain,
Or,
and so
yes, the
kinesthetic.
modality would be movement or
Or-
kinesthetic.
Excellent. So we have 3 domains, cognitive, affective, psychomotor, 3 modalities, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. How do they work with each other? That's the question.
Okay. So I feel they both work together in the sense that you're providing kinesthetic movement when you get the students up and coming to the board.
So you could be learning in the cognitive domain, but using the modality of kinesthetic?
Yes.
Oh,
No? Okay. Sorry, I apologize.
so we have 3 domains or 3 states of learning that can be traveled by the 3 modalities in each one.
Yes.
So I could be learning in the psychomotor domain by watching you do a demonstration. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Ms. Ross?
Megan, you talk about, you showed a video that displayed clarity as a characteristic of effective teaching that you thought you did well. What is a characteristic you think you need to improve on?
I think. I would probably say variability, and I thought that would be an easy one to display, but then going back and watching my videos and reflecting on that, I feel that it's something that I could improve on because, I mean, while my lab was at 8 in the morning, I feel like I could have improved with my students and getting them up and moving around and engaging more. I think that sometimes my labs lacked that, and I'm not sure if it was the time that my labs happened at, but I felt that I could have done a better job as a teacher.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'm going to ask one more. So in your presentation, you talked about the small gas engine example and integrating an FFA using CDEs, career development events, as part of that. I'd like you to take this just a little bit further And staying on that same example, because I thought you did a nice job with the small engines, talk to me a little bit about how you could integrate SAE as part of that as well, and then take it even one step further and tell me why does this matter beyond your classroom?
Right, definitely. So first off, I'd like to say that while small gas engines isn't really like my strong point, I do feel that I've grown a lot with my knowledge and content base throughout this semester and the one before that. Along with that, the example that I gave is having students participate in both the small gas engine course and then going on and completing the CDE within that, and how I feel that that will increase their knowledge level and be able to do better in that CDE. To answer your question, I feel that that's very easily slides over to the SAE portion of that, because students could do a number of things. They could restore a tractor if they had one. Farm management within their equipment on their farm. If they are working with some type of entrepreneurship CDE and something breaks that needs fixed, they're going to have the knowledge to do that. They could also transform that into a placement CDE. Maybe they're working at an automotive shop, something like that. So there are a number of ways that they can just kind of flip around and be within each of the 3 circles of the 3-circle model. Along with that, to answer the last part of your question,
I can rephrase it actually.
Okay.
So basically, I'm a student in your class, and I'm happy to be learning in your class, but I don't want to do the competition, and I don't want to do an SAE in that area. Why should we be learning about small engines?
Right, why should you? Okay, so as you saw in my video, there's simple everyday things that can happen, things break. So like Billy did in the video, he pulled the cord right out of the starter of that small gas engine. That was a practical thing that we fixed that day in class. And so I feel like doing practical things with my students to get that interest within like why they should need to be doing this will help engage them within the rest of the class and kind of spark that interest. So I feel that while small gas engines might not be everyone's favorite, I feel like I can pull everyone in and get them excited about it by doing things like that. Like, has this ever happened to anyone? Has anyone ever broke this before? I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. So I'm sure that they can relate in that sense. So just relating to them by doing things like that in class.
Thanks.
Question from the audience. Annette.
On the scope and sequence provided by West Perry, I see that supervised agricultural experience is considered a 1-semester elective given 1 credit. In your model program curriculum, is this something you would have separate, and do you see that as a benefit to the student?
Right, so I think that's all going to be based off of the school that I go to or the school that I end up at and the way that their classes are lined out along with their bell schedule. I think it's going to be really important to figure out how all that works together. One thing that I like that West Perry does do is how they have their SAE integrated within the Ag Science and Technology class, so all of those students must have an SAE project. So to start off, that's something that I would definitely do. All 9th graders, coming in must have a project. Spark that interest, this is what you need to do. After that, my dream goal for the program would be that it would be integrated as a 1 or 2 credit class, like in there. Maybe an independent study, or I would like to see it more as like a homeroom type of class, so that I'm seeing those students all the time and that we can constantly be engaging about the SAE and not just trying to grab them on the side and say, hey, what are you doing? But actually have that time to be able to sit down and work with them. So I would say I do like that scope and sequence, and it works very well for their school. And I could definitely go along and follow that, but I guess in my mind, perfect program, I do have that small amount of time that I could have with all those students to work on SAEs.
Ms. Ross.
Megan, what type of reflective practices do you hope to engage in during your student teaching?
So I feel as a teacher that I always need to be reflecting and on my lessons and everything that I'm doing just to improve myself and better my teaching practices. I think a good way that I want to reflect is to constantly be sitting down with my cooperating teacher and talking to him and saying, what could I have done better? What do I need to improve on? And what did I do well? And just getting that feedback from him. Also, I do like the use of the blogs, and I like to write, so I feel like just expressing myself and getting it out there will help me reflect in my own mind on the things that I've done, and so I feel like that would be a helpful tool as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Last question. What legacy do you wish to leave at West Perry High School?
At West Perry High School, I hope to just be a positive teacher, and I hope to influence those students that are coming into the program. And then I were talking about emotional. I think I've come a far way. While I'm not perfect, I don't think anyone is. And so I think just always being positive and engaging with students and helping them get to graduation and get some type of knowledge and take something from the ag program.
Thank you, Megan. Round of applause.